Hi there and welcome to Rachie OT Mum. It is the end of our third academic term in South Africa. We have 4 terms, which means that schools are now breaking up and going on holiday, and it is the time of report cards. So I thought I would talk a little bit, just give you 2 strategies today of making your child's early years report card meaningful to you, and then just some pitfalls to avoid when you get your child's report card. So I dropped Joey off at school this morning and I got handed this report card, and I went and I got into the car. I was a little bit anxious, a little bit nervous. You know, I think it's a hangover from childhood where you get this report card, you don't know, will it please, will it not please? Anyway, so I felt all that and I opened it up, and what's the first thing I did? I went and I scanned through the rating. Now, a lot of early years report cards have a rating system. So at Joey's school, they have a rating, a 1 of 3. So you either, I'm still trying, through to I'm getting there, and then lastly, I've mastered the skill completely. So what did I do? I went and I looked for any that say I'm still trying, and I picked them out and I read knows a parent's telephone number, and there it says I'm still trying. And I thought, what? My child knows my telephone number. He can recite it to me whenever I ask. So I'm quite ashamed to say, but we've got a little WhatsApp group with his teacher, and I messaged her and I was like, oh, this is so ridiculous. Joey can say he knows my telephone number off by heart. And she replied and she said, well, the important thing is that he knows it now. And I just had this absolute moment of shame when I read that, because I was like, wow, knowing what I know, I have got completely caught up in the wrong part of the report. So instead of giving a lovely overview and a feel for how my child was doing and reading the comment and unpicking that, I had honed in on the one thing on the report that said he was still trying. And I think that this is the difficulty with rating systems, is that very often our human brain does this. And we're so conditioned in society to always be looking for performance and outcomes. And I'm aware of this, and I still fell into the trap from years of my own conditioning of wanting to please and wanting to get a good rating. So what I then did is I took a step back and I said, okay, how do I make this meaningful? How do I make this rating system meaningful? And how I do that is I look for movement. So when I look at this, is there movement from his last report? And I think that that's the thing. The outliers aren't important. Yes, it's nice to know your child's strengths and what you can work on, but that's not the important part. At the beginning of the year, nobody should have all of their scores in I have mastered the skill completely, because they're at school to learn. They're meant to be learning skills. So as they go through the year, you should see a movement in that rating. And they should move from I'm still trying through to I have mastered the skill. And that's really what it's about. And I would say that if you really want to get meaning out of a rating system, look at if there's movement. Look at if there's progression term on term. And then you know if your child is moving in the right direction. And you don't have to worry about individual sort of splinter skills you're going to train them in. And then the second thing I wanted to just say is about the comments. So I turned it over then and I said, right, this is actually where the juiciness comes. This is where the depth of the report comes. And I read the teacher's comment. And fortunately, Joey's got a fantastic teacher who really knows him very well. And I read it and it just resounded like, that is my child. Those are his strengths. That is his love for learning. And I think that that's the really important thing, is that when you read a comment on your child's report card, it should be the child that you know. If you read it and you don't know the child the teacher's talking about, that should be a red flag. And I think, you know, we're all different in different contexts, and the child might be more confident at school, he might be less confident at school, but it should still ring true as the child that you know. And I think that if it doesn't, you need to look at that, because there's a reason then that the teacher doesn't know the child well enough. And it might be a less experienced teacher, but it might also be that when your child is at school, he's too anxious to show the things that he knows, or it's too overwhelming from a sensory perspective for him to be performing in the way that he could. Or even it's just a lot and it's busy and it's hard for your child to be more regulated and to show their skills. So I think that that's the really important thing, and that's how you can really make it meaningful. Is there movement in the rating system? And when you read the comment, is this the child that you know? And if it's not, make an appointment, go and see the teacher and speak through who your child is and who you're seeing at home, and help the teacher to know the potential of your child and to know the qualities that your child has. And that's just a much more positive way of using a report card, a more qualitative way, instead of the quantitative sort of outcomes performance that we kind of all trained to look at. So I hope that helps, and I hope it gives you sort of fresh eyes to look at your child's report card with, and to feel sort of more confident in how they're doing, and the direction that they're moving. Have a wonderful holiday if you have one now. Otherwise, for those of you in the Northern Hemisphere who are just starting up the school year, I hope it is a good academic school year for your children and for you, and we'll connect again soon. Bye.